Now that we've touched on the subject of green manufacturing, let us show you two manufacturing-related practices. The first would be an eco-friendly one, but the second wouldn't be so. Nike launched a campaign named Better World, and one of its focal points includes green manufacturing. This is demonstrated via its production of the soccer uniform using recycled plastic bottles. The bottles are sourced from Japan and Taiwan. They are first melted down into polyester, turned into yarn, and then converted into fabric for the uniform. Before we move on, let's ask a quick question. How many percent of recycled polyester do you think constitute the jerseys? A. 30%, B. 50%, C. 70%, or D. 90%? The answer is D. 90%. In fact, the jersey is made with at least 96% recycled polyester from an average of 7 bottles. As for the shorts, they are made with 100% polyester from an average of 6 bottles. By employing such an environmentally friendly method of production, Nike had used an estimated 115 million recycled bottles from 2010 to 2012. To put things into perspective, that means there are enough bottles to stretch halfway around the world when lined up end to end. Besides recycling bottles, the process also saves raw materials and reduces energy consumption by about 30% compared to manufacturing virgin polyester. Now that the first example is over, let's have another quiz. The technology used to convert plastic bottles into fabric have actually been used by a firm named Patagonia in 1993. However, Patagonia has been moving away from this method of production. What do you think is the reason for this? It is because it takes more energy to recycle one thing into something that is very different. Thus, from a resource management point of view, this process is not the most feasible. The Nike example informed us of the effects of a green practice, but what about the effects of a not so green practice? In this case, we will be mentioning a large tech company which product many of us use, Apple. But wait, before the example, let's do another question. Which iPhone do you think is more environmentally friendly? Is it A, iPhone 4S, or B, iPhone 5? The answer is A, iPhone 4S. Apple may have marketed the iPhone 5 as environmentally friendly, but it is actually not as green as it claims. For one, Apple has reported on its own website that there's a great increase in carbon dioxide emissions going from iPhone 4S to iPhone 5. Over their life cycles, the emissions produced by iPhone 4S and iPhone 5 are 55 kg and 75 kg respectively. Moreover, the iPhone 5 uses an upgraded charging port to replace the one present on previous iOS devices. This renders the port incompatible with cables and accessories designed for iPhone 4S, unless the consumer buys an adapter. Therefore, it is not hard to see an increase in electronic waste from discarded cables and hardware. After saying all that, here's a fun fact. If all the iPhones sold in 2010 were charged once, it would be equivalent to leaving a light bulb on for over 357 years. While we are not comparing the examples, they do show us the difference in impacts caused by the difference in practices.
Created using Powtoon.